Morning and welcome to the last session. Been a strange term. Things have been a little bit different and something different for me as well in terms of trying to take everything online so quickly. Hopefully it's all kind of worked out. Just going to do this last lesson, really just a review of what the exam is going to look like. Let me just share my screen with you. Desktop. Okay, so obviously we're on this week at the moment, but I'll soon open up this current week, if that makes sense to you, because I'm recording this on the 21st, as you can see. So I'm going to open up this week to you fairly soon, and we're going to look particularly at the study guide. There's a bit of work here still to do on termination of a family business. So please make sure you do the quizzes and everything else that's involved in that next week or this week as you're actually viewing it. And then I've separated out and put the exams into the following week. From May 4th to May 6th is the period that we actually do the exams in. But let me go through that because that's all in the study guide. So if I open up the study guide, in fact, if I stop share and then I share again, I can just share that one screen with you. That might make it easier. So the study guide, yeah. Okay, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you to read what's there. But I mean, again, you'll have it there in the Moodle. Okay, so we're going to run the exam online, so there's going to be two parts to the exam: multiple choice part and two short form questions. Now, the way that I've formatted this exam is to take quite a few of the questions we've asked you through the course, plus add a load more questions, made quite a big question bank. And from that question bank, your exams will be drawn. So it's not, everybody won't have exactly the same exam because we'll be pulling questions from a question bank into Moodle. I'm sure perhaps you're used to that anyway in your online or on your Moodle supported programs back home. Okay, I'll just give you an example of multiple choice question there, which was similar to what we did in the midterm. Yeah. So this multiple choice section will be open from 001, so 1 a.m., not 1 a.m., midnight on the morning of April 23rd. Yeah, so if you want to wait up to then, but that will be CET, so remember that. So that will be your 8 hours, 9 hours behind, depends on where you are. So you might prefer to that will be first thing in the morning for you. Yeah. And through to midnight on April 26th. So we've got a fair bit of time to actually undertake the exam. So there's three full days effectively. Okay. Make sure you complete it inside the Italian time frame. Yeah, that's important because the exam will be closed outside of those periods of times. You have 30 minutes to complete the first part of the exam. It took me about 10 minutes to complete. I've run through it a few times just to make sure that the randomisation of the questions comes up. But obviously, I've written the questions on what's on the questions, so it's a little bit faster for me. But it will take about 10 minutes to complete. As I said, each exam will be slightly different. Questions are drawn from a database of questions. So this first part here, subject areas for study, will include all of these areas, but not all of them will turn up, if that makes sense, because it depends on on what questions are randomly asked of you. There is a majority of questions which come from the second half of the term, although some subject areas have kind of continued through the course. We've looked at various areas, even things like entrepreneurship. We've referred back to Cooper's models a few times. We've referred back to various things as we have gone through the course, and perhaps we've introduced a new person in in the system, then we would look at perhaps some of those things like antecedent factors or the incubator organisations or something like that. Okay, so this is what I think you need to know: the basics of family business. So that includes the definitions and identify perhaps family businesses and non-family businesses, and understand the importance of family business. Family business in Italy, why it's different to other countries, and again we've kind of covered that second half as well as first half, so there is some stuff on the first half there. Entrepreneurship, the personality traits, graph versus opportunities, entrepreneurs, growth and income oriented, nation, novice, serial and portfolio entrepreneurs, risk versus innovation, the characterization of entrepreneurs. Look at the structure of family businesses, the culture of family businesses, social responsibility, change management, succession models, things like the warm hearts, deep pockets model, which I think is an important one for us, normative, calculative, effective and dependent models, growth strategy, governance, importance of the governance, and the end of the family business, which is obviously the material that you'll be doing more or less this week. Okay, the multiple choice will be drawn from those. Sometimes there'll be one. I think there's one question that will be 10 marks. There are 2 questions that I think are 4 indications. There's about 10 2 indications and about 10, maybe 15 single multiple choice questions. So that gives you an idea of where we're at with it. Okay, the second part will be short form answers. I think about 150 to 300 words, something like that for each question. So there'll be 2 questions. Okay, the short form section will be open for the same time period. And again, inside the Italian time frame. Now, what's important, you can take both of these sections separately, but once you start either of those sections, it's important that you've got a quiet place to work and not to be disturbed, and good internet connection, because you need to really finish within the time frame. So the first one is half an hour. This one is 1 hour. But you can't do one question and then come back into the second question. You need to do both questions together and complete within that 1 hour time frame. Yeah. Each exam will be slightly different, as your exam will be based on 2 questions drawn from a database of questions, exactly the same as before. So I think I've drawn about 9 questions together in total, and so you'll automatically be selected 2 out of those 9. So there has been some differentiation to make sure that you get some second half questions that just by random might be 1 or 2 questions that refer just the first half, but they don't really, because most of the questions I'm asking at this point are kind of more global in their outlook, rather than just looking at one specific issue inside the family business. Okay. What is important to draw on the experiences, the case studies in the module, and your answer should show clearly understanding of the course materials, application to a real life case of family business, and critical evaluation through the validity of the model, its applications in different contexts or future viability. Yeah. So the subject areas here will be management structures, non-family members in a family business, the properties of family business, the ending or the termination of family businesses, corporate social responsibility, the 4 C's, Green's model of development of a family business, and the strength of relationship business and continuation of a business, the warm hearts, deep pockets model. It's important that you know all of those subject areas, because your question may be drawn from any one of those. So it's not a choice. You'll be given two questions to actually answer from those ranges. Yeah. I will identify businesses inside those questions. That will include Dini Cafe, Papiro, Italy, perhaps a family restaurant, Ferragamo, Luxottica, Chianti Classico, Shake Cafe. And to some extent, you might be able to work out the subject areas by some of the context I've actually given. So I'm not going to try and trick you. I might across from one to another, but only where it's completely obvious. But where we've looked at those particular companies, you know what kind of subject areas they will be related to. You should be familiar with all the context, but again, like in the midterm, my questions are phrased that you could use alternative examples. However, it is ideal if you can apply the given context to the given subject area, because I specifically would like you to use these. If you really can't, when it gets to it, then please use your own examples. But I'd also say use these examples and use your own examples as well. Yeah. Let me go back just to one more point, which I think was back here. Where did I put it? Yeah, this line here, application to a real life case of family business and critical evaluation through, yeah. So obviously I need the course material, I need application to those examples, and then what I want you to look at is the analysis of the critical evaluation, which can be analysis of the validity of the model. Does the model fall down anywhere? Does it fit perfectly the situation? And you know, in experience and reality, models rarely fit perfectly. It's quite often around those edges that we get to our, you know, kind of more important and more interesting kind of conclusions. So we can look at that for critical evaluation, or we can look at its application perhaps in different contexts. Maybe in the US, that model might not work where it works in Italy, or it might work in the US and not in Italy, or whatever. So in a different area, that model might have different connotations, may have different capabilities in those different areas. And then to look at future viability. Again, this thing is quite interesting, and I'd be interested in your responses, because to me this is the difference, which makes the difference between a 90 and a 100 in when I'm grading an exam, is looking at this critical evaluation. And so look at future viability. I mean, and again, today this is going to be particularly interesting because we look at things like, you know, the effect of coronavirus on the business area and what that actually means. So maybe we can apply some of those kind of things into that exam. Anything else I can tell you? If I stop that share there and go back to, let's go back to here so we can see, oh, you can't see my screen, can you see me? Can't you? Hold on, share screen and go to desktop, yeah. So here's the actual structure of the exams. I think everything is actually there. Is already, as I say, it's hidden from the students at the moment, but I'll try and open it up in the next few days. Just want to check everything's working right on it first, but I'm fairly sure it's okay. I've done my checks on it. And then, so you can have a look through these, and any questions, please feel free to come back to me on. You can email me, you can send me a message through the message system there. I can set a Zoom meeting up if anybody wants any particular feedback. Remember to look in your feedback folders for information of where we are, and any reports I grade, I'll put back into there. I'm not allowed to release this data straight away, okay? But I will. I'm not allowed to give you your overall grade, so maybe I can give you some indications, perhaps in your feedback folder after I've finished the grading, of where you're at. But I'm not allowed to give you an overall grade until that has to be approved through your study abroad office. So so hopefully we can do that. I was considering some extra credit if anybody wants to respond to that. I've got something that has extra credit, but I don't think there's anybody that's particularly in need of it. And as I say, the extra credit won't take you from an A minus to an A. It won't take you. It could take you from a B to a B plus, or C higher. But I can issue that if somebody wants to do a little bit of extra credit. Okay, so come back to me on that as soon as you can, obviously, because we need to get everything compiled by May the 6th. So we'd have to do that pretty quickly. Okay, I think that's it. So thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the course. As I say, it's been very weird. I'm sure it's been weird for you as well. But hopefully everything's worked out, and we can hopefully be using our family business skills in the future. And please keep in touch if you're back in Florence in the future, because I'm sure you'll want to come back again. Come and look me up, and I'll be pleased to see how you're getting on with your own business, or if you've entered a family business, or if you've started a business, or even if you're working in somebody else's family business. I hope I've brought something interesting and new to you, and that's it. Okay, take care. Most importantly, keep safe, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.